What's going on, guys? It's Screech here, and today we're coming at you with another deck profile. If you've been noticing, I've been posting a couple of deck profiles every couple of weeks on the channel right now, usually of an eldlich deck, because my goal is to top a regional event before possibly the end of the year, maybe just before I quit the game completely. I don't want to quit the game, but it is coming to that point now where it's reaching its peak funness for me, and I know it falls off from here. A lot of my friends are also in the same boat, but my goal was to top a premium event, preferably a regional, because I'm never going to top a Nats or a Worlds or a YCS or anything. And we've just come back from Acrington Regional, and look what I have! We've topped our first ever regional ever. I'm so happy, and I couldn't get over the fact that we'd got to this point. So last regional, I lost out on the bubble. I lost to one of my friends, who we'll talk about in a minute, and give him some shout outs as well, in pretty much the last round to stop me from topping there. And today, similar things have happened, and we're now here in this scenario with a different eldlich deck. We're not on trap eldlich today, we're on Cyberse eldlich, or pile, as I like to call it, because that is a full 60 card pile. The deck did very well. We played against, let's think we can do this in order, so Sword Soul, Shaddoll, Dryatron, Invoked, Cyberse eldlich, Prank Kids, Strikers. That was it. They were our matchups. Most of them were 2-0. Games went really well. Games went really quick. We'll talk about the lineups. We'll talk about the card for card choice. Would I change anything? Without further ado, we're going to do some shout-outs first, because I owe a lot of people a humongous thanks for getting me my first regional top. Thanks to Michael Dolan. He's took me to the last 2 or 3 events we've been to. He also topped his first regional too, so he was playing the same deck. Shout out to Callum Cook, very well-respected player in the Yu-Gi-Oh community today. Also topped this event. Should have probably won the event, but he kind of got robbed. Tiebreakers, something else happened. He didn't. He's the one who got me into eldlich. He topped the YCS with trap eldlich. Told me that, it was the best deck, you got to play it. I've always been a control player, always played things like Subterrors and Geist and stuff for a while. Picked up the deck, tested it for a while, was like, you know what, the deck's really good. Played it at Leeds Regional, and almost topped, the closest I've ever got to topping. And then he played in the most recent YCS and lost to the Cyberse build. So I looked into the Cyberse build, and then another friend of mine who I'm going to shout out, Jeswin, whose deck this actually is, and borrowed me the Brave Engine and stuff for this deck today. He borrowed me the whole deck, but I had the whole deck bar the Brave Engine anyway. But he just borrowed me the whole deck just to make things easier in terms of giving it him back. Then basically borrowed me the deck, and he's tested with me. Shout out to Brad and Terry, who have been the locals, they're the judges there. Shout out to all the guys in the Cheadle shop that came down yesterday, who we had a new locals I've not been to before there. There was a much bigger 5-round locals, so it sort of got me in that mentality for playing longer games. Ben Sherman, he's always there testing with me at locals. Shout out to a lot of people. The top guys, Calum. Big shout out to Calum. He knows why. Big shout out to so many people. Ian, Finley, everyone that's played the game with me. As you can probably tell, I'm very excited that I've finally topped an event. Hopefully we can do it again, because Acrington Regional, which is where this was a stepping stone for me. So I played this deck for a whopping 5 days. So this for me was a stepping stone to learn and master the deck, and then maybe go really in for Preston, which is next week, which is next Saturday. So you might see another deck profile next Saturday with my results. Again, it'll probably be a similar list, so I might not upload it. We don't know. But basically, yeah, it was kind of a stepping stone to learn the deck. Now, did we perfect the deck in them 5 days? No. I made 1,000,001 risk plays today, and possibly could have been EXO at the end of it, because I misplayed in the only game I really lost, majorly misplayed. Both of the games that I struggled in were down to huge misplays. But without further ado, we'll get into the card by card choice. It's kind of obvious what it is. But like ratios and stuff, we'll talk into it. Starting off with 2 eldlich. You play this in every eldlich build. Trap eldlich, dogmatic eldlich, invoked eldlich, Cyberse eldlich, kitchen sink. Did I mention eldlich? You usually play 2. The eldlich ratio hasn't changed at all in terms of this deck. And then we also opted for a Magician Souls engine. We were only on 2 Magician Souls with 2 Illusion of Chaos. We had the 3rd, but we're going to be playing another card later on, which you'll see, which kind of just changed for this. I think this is the correct ratio, just because the preparation of rights, sorry, I will just tell you what it is, gets you the Illusion of Chaos anyway. And it's just 1 less card in your hand to deal with when getting to try and trigger dasher effects. So I just prefer this ratio. I think I would stick with this ratio. There's a few things I might change, but I think this is the correct ratio in order to play the Souls engine. And then it is Cyberse Eldlich, so we talk about the Cyberse cards. All of these, we played 9 in total. We didn't play Signet Minings or anything. Have looked into it, still may look into it, because this engine is so goddamn good. All of these get you to the same place. They all normal summon, link themselves off for Disciple, and then either summon themselves back or a token. That gets you the Devotee tributes, draws, puts 1 back, 2 tokens, and then you end up making Dagda Scythe Verte DPE off of these. All of these do that alone. These are just 1-card engines in order to get you a Scythe lock, and a DPE, which is going to resolve several times. The Dasher Celestial Engrave for additional draws, the Dasher for additional special summoning, which I triggered, I want to say, every single game today. The Dasher to special summon, normal summon something, and then go into Hulk, and then go down that line, which we'll talk about later on. Because you are going to be playing a lot of hand traps in this. Speaking of hand traps, here we go. So we opted for 3 Ghost Ogre, 3 Droll, 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash. There's so many hand traps, it's off the camera. 3 Ash, and 2 copies of Veiler. Like this ratio, like this amount, really didn't prior to the event. Now I've played in the event and tested versus a lot of things. You need at least 2 hand traps in order to break any boards. Would I change anything? Maybe. I think I would maybe consider cutting the Drolls to the side, and maybe maining something like Droplets, just as an additional out to Scythe, or something to help you get somewhere through a Scythe lock. Because you can do the engine stuff through Scythe, but you don't really get far. You can't DPE. You're basically just playing normal Eldlich with lots of bricks for a turn. Or you can summon a bunch of bodies. Or an Omni Negate. Did we mention an Omni Negate? 3 copies of Water Enchantress of the Temple, 1 copy of Griffin Rider. This is standard. Standard stuff. The Brave engine was so good today. It's consistent resources every single turn. It's potential draw power for the souls, pitching the Draco back. It's an Omni Negate, of course, with the Griffin Rider, or at worst, it's just a free special summon to help combo into like Hulk, Selene, Access, or additional bodies for Verte, DPE, etc., etc. And then a couple of one-odds, so Dasher, Celestial, Scythe, and Lancia. We opted to also main the Lancia because if we know what they're playing, or, you know, we get a glance, we maybe don't go Scythe lock and we go Lancia lock. Something like Flunderies, even Invoked to a degree, like being able to Lancia them just stops the Invoked play as much as being able to Scythe them. So, not necessarily bad. I mean, I'd still go for Scythe in the Invoked matchup, which we did actually play as well today. But yeah, it's just nice to have the option, and the 1 Lancia it's not a brick if you draw it, you know what I mean? It's still a fantastic hand trap in the format. Preparation of rights, like I said, this is just here to get you your Illusion of Chaos in order to draw 2 off the Magician's Souls, or draw 1, or draw whatever you want to draw. Main spells, your main engine pieces here, 3 Cursed Eldland, 3 Rite of Armatia, is it? The token summoning thing. Token summoning thing is great. The token being 2k is huge. Like, it has no needs of being fairly chunky on its own. But it is, and it remains to be a fantastic card. The engine is definitely going to get hit at some point. And then continuing with our spells or our engines, 2 Fusion Destinies. This is just here to either send off Verte, or you can do what I did and just draw it every game. And then you don't care anyway. And then a couple of one-offs. Fateful Adventure, obviously. Dracoback, obviously. And then Foolish Burial as well. Foolish is, of course, at 1, so there's no change in that. Foolish is here to send Enchantress, which allows you to get to the right combo. Or you can send things like Eldlich in order to do like that line of play as well. So Foolish isn't just here just to send Enchantress. Send in Eldlich. Eldlich pop. It comes up very, very often, and then 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, more hand traps because we thought those 12 wasn't enough, so we needed 3 more, and then your standard Eldlich line, 2 Huquero, 3 Conch, 3 Eldlich. So standard Eldlich line, nothing's changed here. Eldlich Conchs are great, Eldlich Huqueros are great to have. Being able to banish DPE, being able to pop cards like Mystic Mine, and things like that all comes up. Just said Mystic Mine as an example. So, yeah, as for what I would change, I don't know. Like I said, I think I'd probably go with possibly putting droplets in the main. There's a couple other hand traps I want to try this format. Like I said, this was a stepping stone for me to try and top a regional in the future, and we've ended up topping one now anyway. So we'll go on to the extra deck first. We played 1 copy of Access Code. This was our Link 4 and kind of our like pseudo win condition. This is usually summoned via Selene. Selene is fantastic. Summoned this. I summoned every card in the extra deck today, bar the second copy of Verte Anaconda. We played 2 Verte Anacondas. This was in case the first one got negated. We could still go into Verte. You would have to sacrifice like the Omni Negate, but it would allow you to trigger Scythe Lock. But no one bothered. Like by the time you've got to that Verte Dagda Lock, like if they've not hand trapped you now, they're probably not going to do it anyway. So I definitely don't think you need the second Verte. So I'm thinking of cutting it, but I don't know what for. I really felt today I was missing another Link 4. Not necessarily like a game-ending Link 4 like Access. But something else. Maybe I'll try like Boral Sword or an Avramax. Or I might even just go like Appaloosa because the extra negates are okay. But Ogre's running around this format, so maybe not the Appaloosa. Then still continuing with the Link 2s. We played both the Charmers, both the good Charmers right now. Dahak and Liner. Fortunately, no DPEs were stolen with this Dahak. What have we revived off Dahak today? We revived somebody's Souls. Is that it? Surely we revived something else. I think I might have revived an Alistair at one point. Liner, however, I summoned 1,000 times. Kept reviving Drivers. Driver was like the go-to thing to revive at the moment. Gamma's running around really badly at the moment, so Liner is a fantastic card, and I would definitely not change either of those. Still sticking with Link 2s, Nightmare Phoenix, Hulk of Firebrax, Dagda. These are all like utility cards. Hulk helps you get into access really, really easy. Would not change this Hulk at all. Dagda is a part of your main combo, being able to Scythe Lock, and I still stand by Nightmare Phoenix is the best Link 2 ever printed. Possibly the best Link ever printed. This is in every deck, whether you play Extra, Prosperity, don't care about the extra deck, do care about the extra deck. This goes in every deck, and I stand by that, and I've stood by that for years, and would never change my opinion. And then we're running a fat stack of Link 1s. Spider, Karibo, Double Devotee, Disciple. Quite a lot of Link 1s, but all of your engine revolves around this. You need to play the Double Devotee in order to trigger the Dagda, unless you draw something like Magician Souls or something to activate anyway. Spider is here for like the Eldlich traps to help them get engrave. But honestly, would also possibly cut this because I don't think it came up once where I had just an Eldlich trap on board and needed to link off the Spider just to get it engrave and then pass. Every time I had multiple cards and would have been much better making a Link 2 or a Link 3 or even a Link 4 than just going Spider. But you play a lot of tokens, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe you could consider playing Imduk and Win like we do in the trap build, just because Barons and stuff are still running around. And then the last card is pretty obvious. Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer. So that's 15 in the extra, 60 in the main, 15 in the side. So, like I said, I borrowed this entire deck off someone. Didn't change the side from what they're playing. The side did fantastic for me. I had little to no problems with this side deck, but initially when I saw it, I was a bit dubious. I was a bit like, this just seems weird. So, triple copies of Sanctum, double copies of Lancia. Obviously, we're maining the third Lancia. This just makes sure that your Scythe combo has another line of play. So, if they do negate the Dagda DPE thingies, you can still Scythe them. You still have 3 additional chances of getting to Scythe. Or if your Scythe resolves, you now have Scythe Lancia. So, just additional ways to get to Scythe, because Scythe is the be-all, end-all of this format at the moment, I feel. And then some spell and trap removal. These got sided in, but they didn't get sided in for the case of, like, this is the be-all and end-all, we need to see these. They just sort of got sided in as, like, utility cards. Like, I can play around the Sword Soul Blackout, but if I just banish it straight away off Cosmic, sure. I can play around the Imperm he has set, but I could Cosmic it and not have to deal with that. It never was a case of I needed to see these to pop Floodgates, or I needed to see these to pop, like, many back rows, like Eldlich, or something like that. Like, oh, I think he has double punishment here, we need to be baiting these out. Nothing like that ever came. They only ever got sided in to deal with, like, them pesky 1 or 2 odds that people are searching in combos. Things like Blackout. Punishment came up a few times. I didn't play against the Flunderies, but it was here for, like, the Flunderies trap as well. But you can't be unprepared for the big back row matchups. You can't be unprepared for things like Mystic Mine and stuff. You have to have spell and trap removal. Cosmic is definitely the best one, and Duster's at 1, so, like, just play the Duster as well. Like, sure. Main it, side it. For me, it's fantastic. MVP of the day, Triple Gamma, and 1 driver. These got sided in, like, just about every single game, and I resolved them pretty much every single game. Didn't resolve it when I played at a local event the other day, but I did resolve it so many times today in the regional. Gamma and driver, they're just fantastic. It's just being able to let your spells or traps resolve, your cursed Eldlands and stuff like that, freely, your right, your faithful, if they've not already got rid of the token, or just, like, Hulk, Gamma. Sure. So many other things that it's used for, but, like, I'm not gonna lie, guys, it's 11:05, and I've been up since 6 this morning, getting ready for this event. And then this was kind of weird. So I'm against 1-offs in a 60-card deck, especially siding. But it was siding a Coldby and a Prankatops. Didn't see this once. Seen this so many times. And every time I've seen it, it won me the game. So, without fail, we'll definitely be playing this. I got cross-outed twice today, and I am tempted to main the cross-outs as well, just as another form of, like, being able to do things. And I believe is cross-out a quick play? I think cross-out's a quick play. If cross-out's a quick play, it's, as bad as it sounds, another Scythe out. Like, I'm pretty sure when they summon Scythe, you can cross out and declare your own Scythe. And yes, it locks you out of being able to Scythe lock, but you can still do things. What I found today was going second, like being forced to go second. If I can play around the Scythe lock, I never tried to Scythe lock them back. Unless they sunk, like, everything into stopping me, and I played around it enough. Like, if they had, like, 1 card in hand and just the Scythe lock, and I played around it, then I would probably either go for a Scythe lock myself, or I'd just go Halcyon Access, pop everything on the field, deal a shit ton of damage. That was the line of play almost every game. It was either Scythe lock, or we can OTK, it's time to Halcyon Access and put up a lot of damage and clear the board. I made Access a few times way too early today, which kind of made me want the second Link 4, because it definitely come up several times. But that's it, 60 card pile, first ever regional top. So, like I said, thank you to all the people that have helped me get to where I am today. Don't think I'm a world champion or anything. Don't think I'm going to be the next big thing. I'm not the next Simon He or world champion or YCS winner, but this is my first top, and it meant an absolute lot to me. I spent a lot of money on this game and spent a lot of time, only to ever go X4 in events, so I'm so happy still. But thank you to everyone that helped me. Thank you to Acrington for hosting the store. Congratulations to everyone else that topped and anyone else that's enjoying this deck profile and deck and wants to take the deck any further. I'm open to every suggestions. There's a couple of hand traps and things I want to try out because, like I said, I've been playing the deck for like 5 days. So any suggestions you have, ratios, etc., or questions you have about the matchups, just comment them down below and I'll try and respond to you as fast as I can. But what I know now is I'm going to get a lovely big drink and I'm going straight to sleep. So it's been your boy Screech, guys. Peace!